Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 25 of the League One Review Show. We missed a week last week because I was on holiday, so we've got a bit of a bumper episode, plenty of scorelines to go through, plenty of results, plenty of twists and turns in the League One table. Joining me tonight on my left, or on the right on your screen, still can't work out cameras, is Punk Chef 41. Welcome to the show, mate. Hope you're well.
I'm not too bad. How are you?
Yeah, better middling.
So, have you got your sofa ready to lie down on to talk about these results?
Got the
This is the
very
fantastic. Oh, fantastic!
Well, no,
If you're a Doncaster Rovers fan and you're legal aid to drink, this is your drinking time now.
Yes, go and get a drink. Make yourself comfortable.
Well, yeah.
Well, it's been a good couple of weeks for you. We've got a couple of results to go through, and you'll be telling us a little bit more about Sheffield Wednesday. But for the new viewers to the channel, let them know what you're all about and plug whatever you need to plug, mate.
So I have a Sheffield Wednesday channel for my sins and been doing it about 11 years now. So covering Wednesday, so it's been going good. I also do a podcast with another YouTuber called That Dirty Box. It's called Talking Wednesday, out every Tuesday at 5 p.m. and it's on all podcast platforms of choice. Please go leave a rating. Be nice, please. We do talk some rubbish, but yeah.
Nah, it's very good. It's very good content. And then below me is Lizzie, part of the women's supporters group at Doncaster Rovers, part of her game too. It was a busy weekend for you. For the new viewers, let them know what you're all about.
Well, so myself and two other Lady Rovers fans founded the women's supporters group at the beginning of the season. And if you've watched Dapper's channel all this year, you'll know that, it's been sort of a process of building up to, a big event like yesterday. Obviously, Tuesday last week was International Women's Day. And a lot of clubs all around the country, not just us, believe it or not, were doing things to commemorate that. And we did a lot of fun stuff. We had one of those selfie frames and took photos of everybody, famous fans, players, kids, whatever. We gave discounted tickets to girls' football teams. We offered tickets to people in the community who might have never been to a football game before. And obviously we had the Her Game 2 warm-up t-shirts that the players wore as well. And I'm delighted to say I have secured Joe Olowoos for that. Match worn, signed. And it was just a really nice event to speak to lots of new people about the women's group, because we're in the process of getting some funding for like a banner and some flags and stuff so people know where we are, because it's really daunting sometimes to talk to people. You might recognize them off of Twitter, but like talking to them in person is like a different thing altogether, isn't it? So it was just about talking to as many people as possible, promoting the Her Game 2 message, and obviously I had to go on the pitch as well. A bit scary. With a shit-eating grin on my face, apparently, which is fair enough. There were 6,000 people watching. I was a bit nervous.
Like butter wouldn't melt, apparently.
Absolutely.
But this is a safe space, and comments are more than welcome in the chat. Please bring them forward. Talk about the games that we're talking about, but please keep them respectful, because that's what we're all about. If it's not respectful, you will get booted. It's simple as that. If you've got no respect, you're not welcome. Easy as that.
It's really weird seeing the her game go from where it started in League Two with Kaz and the Bristol City and doing it, and now seeing Premiership teams on it now, and Premiership teams not being normal Premiership team. We'll do it because we have to. No, they're actually going, we want to do this. This is important. And I think the next big one, the big milestone, I reckon, will be if you get it into an England friendly or England competition. That will be huge.
That'd
because
be
you've already had it jump into the. Well, I think it's getting there. It's already been at the Lionesses. You've got Everton. You've got Brentford. You've got the big team starting to jump on it in the good way.
A big six team, I think.
It needs a Man City at Liverpool, doesn't it? It's what it's missing.
Chelsea or something. Not Chelsea anymore. Probably they'll be
out
of business by end of week. But
Derby thought they had problems.
It's amazing when you actually look at how many clubs are doing things at the weekend. I mean, I think the thing that sticks in my mind, like Jake said, was Leeds when they did it. When seeing Calvin Phillips posting really enthusiastically about women wanting to watch football is something that you just don't expect it. And I think it had a massive impact on people. A lot of people were like, oh Christ, I'll take this seriously then, because people love Calvin Phillips, don't they? Even if you're not a Leeds fan, because of how he was in the Euros.
It's a feeling when you see something that's been grown from the ground up and getting further and further. And every week you see the Her Game hashtag, there's another club involved. There's another
It's amazing,
club
isn't
involved.
it?
And
Yeah.
but it's also now going the other way, going to non-league clubs are getting involved.
Yeah, because I know
the more,
Grimsby are involved, aren't they? And a couple of others that slipped my mind, to be honest. My head's in Grimsby.
it's one of those things. It's nice to see something come from such a place of it's everyone's game to now being a thing, and the more it continues to grow, the better.
Thanks.
I think we're all in agreement with that. So before we jump into the results from the past couple of weeks, because as I said, we missed a week last week, so we're going back to the 1st of March, and we're now on the 13th, so we've got quite a bit to go through. We'll have a quick look at some of the comments. We've got Ryan, Barnsley fan, so see you soon in the Championship, Sheffield Wednesday. There's potential because Barnsley, great result against Fulham over the weekend, and they're starting to turn a bit of a corner.
Not sure about that penalty, though.
Yeah, it's soft.
You take it when you're in Barnsley position, you take it, don't you?
Yeah, normally when you're down near the bottom of the table, the luck doesn't go your way. But it went their way against Fulham, and they got a good result. So potentially, Sheffield Wednesday may be meeting Barnsley in the Championship. We've got Ian Bradley, Rotherham. It was early, but good evening, everybody. We've got Jake Tong from Lincoln as well. What a difference 7 days can make onto Rotherham Tuesday. Looking forward to that one. It was a bit down in the dumps when it was on the channel because I think we just beat them. Another good content creator in Tyler for Charlton. It's going to be a load of fun for us addicts. We've got them in a couple of weeks.
God, there's loads of them today.
Big game. Yeah.
Yeah, dreading the Charlton game, to be honest with you. Dreading it.
Coach to Charlton in the chat. Evening. Good to see you both yesterday. It was good to see you too. It was decent.
I liked your cameo in Dan's vlog, Charles, or should I say a starring role, perhaps?
Starring role for sure. Lewis SAFC, hello everyone. Good evening, Lewis. We've got Jonathan Harris, who's a regular as well. Good evening.
God, it's the right turn out.
We've got Captain Nat as well. Hi, Ian. Hope you're well. Hello, Nat. So, admin done.
I think you've hit on something here. You miss a couple of weeks. They all come back like, oh yeah, it's time to start.
I know. Maybe I should just do it bi-weekly or one a month and
surprise them.
Yeah. But we will get on with the results. So 1st of March, we'll start with Sheffield Wednesday against Burton. A fantastic result for you guys, Jake. You can kick us off from there, mate. Tell us what happened.
We're playing some really good football at the moment, and Liam Palmer does not score many, and when he does, it's nice to see. I think the only player at the minute who I'm wanting to get on the score sheet is Jack Hunt. He re-signed at that season, never scored for us, and he's banging on the door. It's always nice to get a player who come through the academy in Palmer, get the goal. It's always nice to see. Barry Bannon doing what Barry Bannon does. He's a cheat code at this level. He shouldn't be in this league, and I still can't believe he's still playing for us, because I thought, going down, he would have gone. 100% would have gone, but he likes Wednesday. He said in the interview at the end of this game, he said, I found a home here. I was looking for a home. I've been bounced from club to club. And I think we took him on like a 6-month trial kind of thing, then signed him on a permanent. It's like, that's the best bit of business ever.
Yeah, not half.
Patterson getting a goal, which was lovely because he dedicated to his mum, who is now cancer-free, which is fantastic news. If you saw Callum Patterson at the start of the season, he was shaved head. He looked a bit scary. Marvin Johnson with an absolute rocket as a goal, and then Barry Bannon to cap off a really good display. The 2 goals that they scored were just lacking concentration from us. And when it went to 2-2, we were very much like, we're not going to do this again, are we? Because we've had a habit during the season of not being able to concentrate. But that seemed to have gone, and there's a Wednesday team who got a bit of confidence. There's a Wednesday team who are playing with smiles on the faces, and I use that expression a lot because I think if a team's gelling like that, and you see some of the Instagram posts and you see stuff in the locker room with the post and laughing, I think that helps. So really good performance, but not a big fan of Hasselbank. He's always got something to moan about. He wasn't happy about the refereeing. And our pitch is slowly starting to look a little bit better.
Yeah, I think you're hitting a bit of form just at the right time of the season. I I don't know if you saw the comment that popped up while you were talking, Jake, that Jake's only
Nah,
to
shut
taunt
up.
you
You absolutely you really well. The only
we will
decent thing
get
about
to that game in a bit. I'm fine with that. But then that said, that he is small enough.
He is.
We will get to that game in a while. Other results on the 1st of March, Shrewsbury 0, Rotherham 0, which is a very good result for Shrewsbury. Portsmouth beat Oxford 3-2. There's always goals in those games. In Oxford games at the minute, there seem to be 3 or 4 goals every single game in their games. And then Wycombe, after a bit of a tough period, a 3-0 victory over Cambridge. It's been a tough couple of weeks for Cambridge. And also 2-0 for Wigan, which was a good result for Doncaster against
Did you
Fleetwood.
see the red card for that game? It was insane.
Yeah, it was late on, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was McLean just being an absolute arse.
James McLean being James McLean.
Yeah, nobody's surprised, are they?
No,
Done us a bit of
not.
a favour though, that result. So I'm just gonna keep flagging every time a result's gone in our favour. I think. I mean, we might be here all night, but.
Ian in the chat about the Rotherham game at Shrewsbury, snooze fest at Shrewsbury, should have won, didn't, and that's the start of our current wobble. But I think you should be okay.
I think you're okay.
Yeah. On to the 5th of March, Saturday games. It was Charlton 0, Sunderland 0. So Tyler came in saying it's been a tough couple of weeks, but that's not a bad result in the current form. Plymouth 2, Morecambe 0. That did us some favours. Cambridge 0, Shrewsbury 0. Say again, sorry.
That definitely went our way, didn't it?
Yes,
Plymouth and Morecambe. I feel like I'm just cheering on different teams now.
We're needing teams to do us favours, which is not a good place to be. But no. I will pass to Lizzie because you went to Cheltenham. I didn't make it to Cheltenham because I was on a barge.
A romantic weekend away. Should be so
with the whole family, so no.
Not that
romantic. But tell us what went wrong at Cheltenham. I'm guessing it was Alfie May. So.
Oh yeah, it was Alfie May to Yeah. I feel like this is a terrible idea. We're going to
do not play that drinking game because you guys seem to have it on. You'll be absolutely hammered.
I know. It's still school night as well. Got to get up tomorrow. Off to work.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, Alfie May, obviously, it were absolute guarantee he was going to score. He didn't celebrate. I mean, they were all jumping on him, but Matty Blair just went and stood near on touchline, which I love Matty Blair, so I was quite quietly pleased to see that. But we just weren't switched on. It reminded me of when we played against Rotherham at home when they beat us 2-0. I want to say, was it 2 or 3-0? It might have even been 4. When they absolutely hammered us this year.
Was it 5?
5 or 6.
It were a lot. It were
so many goals.
Too many hammerings for me to really know. But they when Rotherham hammered us, or when we went to Crewe and we drew 1-1, but we just weren't in it at all. We were just second to every ball. We could barely string more than one pass together. The midfield selection was wrong. I think Clayton and Gardner were too similar. They were both doing the same thing for a majority of the game, and that wasn't great. Like, we've got such a diverse selection of midfielders. I'm not sure that's the right choice to play both of them. Sending off, I think the first yellow were a bit soft, to be honest, but the second one, he did just elbow their player in the face, so I'm not really surprised. It's a bit of a shame. A bit of a shame because Clayton's
got that in his locker though, hasn't he?
It looks like he's going to be some player next season when he gets fitter, because ever since he's come back from playing some behind closed doors games and stuff, he's just looked like my kind of player, you know what I mean? Like an hard nut. But yeah, just
we need him to rein it in a little bit though, because it's all right having an hard nut in midfield who's willing to put his head in where it hurts or put a tackle in, but you need him on the pitch, not suspended.
Yeah, exactly.
So
but
we need to manage that kind of side of his game, I think.
Yeah, it's just an absolute hammering, frankly, and it's just such a shame because, as we've pointed out, every other result went our way, except maybe your game, Jake. But but yeah, just disappointing. But I feel like it was inevitable, really. Classic Rovers.
The RFC Mike has said it. It was shocking.
He's not wrong. He is not wrong, our kid. It were a long way over and all.
And neither is Ryan this season, to be fair. Donny get battered everywhere they go. It has been a very, very tough season to watch. But we will move on to Lincoln against Sheffield Wednesday. If Jake's still in the
You,
chat,
you can do your
here is
drinking
your
game now as
opportunity.
well.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can have your
cue 'em.
klaxon.
Oh,
You
You got
need to
it
get
twice
like
as well.
you need to get like a soundboard down with a klaxon for when
There
next
is one
season.
on. To be fair, there is one that I can send you, which I found, which I haven't managed to get to work yet, and I'll send it you. It works really well. Yeah, this game we just didn't turn up. Let's be honest with you.
So while
They
you're
had a game
talking,
plan.
Jake, I will just keep on putting Jake's comments up. Try not to take them in.
Where do I start? Well, 3 minutes in is where I'll start because it was easy. The issue I always have with Wednesday this season, any team that's a little bit physical, we have issues with. And if they start being physical, we can't compete. We really can't. When we got it to 1-1, it was like brilliant. It was a fantastic run from Marvin Johnson to get it to Berahino. And you're like, right, this is where we can kick on. They were just so much better than us all over the park. They had an idea. They had a game plan. Oh, yeah. He hit nail on the head. We were horrible. We just couldn't get the ball. Every time we lost the ball, they were first to it. Some really good goals, and we were just poor. We were really just poor. And the stats say, 15 shots, 1 on target, and that's your day. They deserved those 3 points, but it's one of these really weird ones because they actually managed to utilize their fans in making it quite an atmosphere. And I think Lincoln are very good at that. They really are. They use it to their advantage all the time. And yeah, there were some scuffles in the game off pitch and things went a bit not what you want to see, but it's what they do. And I still can't believe where Lincoln are in the table. Yeah. They should be so much higher. But great win for Jake's Lincoln City. He was worried about the game a little bit, but we have this blip as always, having like these little mini blips, and we'll see what happens. But for us, it was how we bounced back from this.
And you did bounce back. We will get onto that shortly. But Nat has pretty much said the same as you. Lincoln did a number on us, no complaints. So no. I think a fair assessment of that fixture. Other fixtures on Saturday, the 5th of March, Gillingham got beat 3-0 by Bolton. Oxford battered Burton 4-1. Pompey, 4-0 written all over it once again. I think there's been 3 or 4 results for Pompey at 4-0. So Tom's a very happy creator.
He'll be thrilled.
MK Dons beating Rotherham 1-0, which was a massive result.
Massive result, that.
I think I saw Ian earlier saying that MK deserved the win with no complaints. Yes, I did. Yep. There we go.
They've got a phenomenal team, haven't they?
Yeah, Rotherham fan accepting that MK Dons were the better team on the day in that one.
And considering MK went down to 10 men early doors as well and coming back into it.
Well, that's the difference between them and us, isn't it? We went down to 10 men and everything got even worse, whereas they went down to 10 men and it lit a fire under their arses and they made sure of it, you know?
It's a weird one when teams go down to 10 men because they have 2 different mentalities. They either play 10 times better when you started, like, what's going on?
Love it.
Oh, dear. Some massive games for MK though, like these last few weeks that are just proving what I said about a fortnight ago about them. They're just going to finish automatic, aren't they?
They're going to be there or thereabouts, aren't they?
I'm hoping when they'll have a say in that because we've got to play them.
Yeah. And the last 3 results last Saturday to round it off: Fleetwood getting beat 2-0 by Ipswich, Crewe getting beat 3-1 by Wycombe. So that turnaround after that little wobble by Wycombe is pretty much there, and Wigan beating Wimbledon 1-0. So although Rovers got beat 4-0, no ground lost on the teams above us, but time running out. And moving on to the Tuesday, the 8th of March, this is where some of those games in hand for the teams in and around us were played. And I think me and Lizzie will have been keeping a keen eye on a number of these fixtures. And again, all of them pretty much going our way apart from the Morecambe game. 1-1.
This is a completely different way for me. All these games went the wrong way for us.
Yeah.
Because it knocked us out at 6.
Yeah, because there's teams in there that you're looking at thinking you're wanting them to drop points, and pretty much every single one around you has gained points, which has put the pressure back on Sheffield Wednesday. But for me, I was quite happy with the results because it gave us hope going into Saturday. MK Dons with a good 3-1 win against Charlton. Fleetwood going 1-0 up and chucking the lead away against Sunderland,
Again.
and they've done that a few times
They
away.
seem to do that all the time.
Yeah,
Worse than us.
If you've seen
Saturday, I'm
Napper's
sure.
vlogs of this, they're funny.
Yeah,
He's not a happy man.
If Fleetwood
Bless
take the
him.
lead next Saturday, I don't think they'll be throwing it away somehow.
No, I'm going to say it'll be Happy Man next Saturday when they put 7 past us.
Yeah, definitely.
And we have to listen to Captain Pugwash over and over again.
Jake has had his fun. He's now staying quiet because Ipswich beat Lincoln 2-0. And then Plymouth beat AFC Wimbledon 2-0 as well. And Portsmouth ran out 3-1 winners against Crewe. So that's caught us up. We're 20 minutes in. So
Great.
This one, we said it's going to be a bumper episode. Hopefully we'll be done in under an hour. Ian is actually worried that we could miss out on automatics. One fit striker, midfield misfiring, Lincoln and Shrews. I think he'll be all right. I really do.
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, happy birthday for the 19th.
Happy 60th.
Happy big birthday as well.
We'll try and remember.
It'll be like a local radio host.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
So let's go through Saturday's results. We'll start at Accrington Stanley against Charlton. And I think this is where Tyler was saying it's going to be a bit of a tough week and a tough show for him. Charlton hitting a big rough patch at the minute, and it's the time of the season where you don't really want to be hitting any sort of rough patch.
You want to be picking up as many points as possible, especially where they are. And the only thing I got as a Wednesday fan, we play Accrington Stanley on Tuesday, so that player being suspended would be nice.
Yeah, he looks a good player, Tommy Lee. But he's similar to Clayton, a good player, but he's got that in him, a red card.
It would have been nice for Charlton for having stopped the goal, but it's I don't know where it's gone wrong. It's like maybe they should have given him Johnny Jackson the internship till the end of the season and then gone to see what happened. I think sometimes giving a manager the job early can set the wrong precedent because players are like, right, we know we're the gaffer now. We don't need to work as hard, if that makes sense. But Accrington Stanley just doing what they do. They're very, very good at how he got them drilled, and you always get a tough game against them.
Tough place to go.
Yeah, it really is. It was exactly the same when we went there, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is a very big statement by Tyler, to be fair. I said a couple of weeks ago, I genuinely think we're down. I stand by it. This team and club is so uninspiring. I can't see us getting anything from any of our last games. Wow.
Well, I used to be a temp, Tyler. When I was a temp, my agent is a Charlton fan, and he travels from Lincolnshire to every game. And he's convinced that you're going to send us down. So I'm quite pleased if it went the other way, to be honest. He's convinced.
Well, that game's in a couple of weeks. So, it could be a massive, massive game. We've got 6-pointers coming up.
To be fair, there was a period when we were doing this show and we already thought you were already down when we were talking. We had I think it was middle of February, we all turned around and said, I think we're probably going to be down. You had that little spell of hope. And you're just clinging on to the little bits that you can. Yeah, the fact that we're still in with a chance near the end of March, I am flabbergasted. Can't believe it.
You and me both.
What a word that is as well. So moving on to Sunderland against Crewe, a good result for the Rovers, keeping us well within the mix of survival, he says, with a hint of sarcasm. But a wonderful goal to break the deadlock quite late on. It took them 84 minutes to break the deadlock, but wow, what a goal. And then icing on the cake on the 89th minute, and it keeps Sunderland.
I completely forgot Patrick Roberts was there. I followed that kid career for ages, and it just seemed like he shouldn't have gone to Man City. He should have just stayed somewhere. He just keep getting loaned out and loaned out. He needs to find somewhere where he can settle.
Yeah.
Well, nice to see him score then, but it's a fantastic result for the Rovers, which is just making it
harder.
A lot harder for everybody.
Yeah, I think we're in the mindset where we just either want to actually do our bit and we'll get on to our game in a couple of games, or just everybody else to do their bit and just put us out of his misery. We're like a wounded animal that just needs putting out of its misery at the minute.
Honestly,
that's how
they would just shoot us.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Depending who you're talking to, Nappers might say that Fleetwood are a little bit like a wounded animal at the minute. They've got 15 players.
To be fair, Napper grew this up on himself. He tweeted. He put a tweet out saying, "Hold on."
Oh no.
Yeah.
Dapper knows more than anybody that that's a bad idea.
Wow. I mean, yeah, 60 minutes in, 30 to go, 2-0 up away from
It's
home.
like they were cruising at that point. There wasn't
Yeah.
anything in it.
But then you look 57 minutes and then they get that kind of that opening on 61. They get that kind of something to grab onto and try and pull back. And as soon as that momentum shifts in a game, it's tough to turn the tide again. And it showed in this where Fleetwood chuck away another lead.
It also
away from
shows
home.
you the quality that Burton had done in this little spell where they've got these little free agents who might help until the end of the season on that little push. So, there's some of those signings you think, what are you doing at Burton of all places, like kind of thing. But I think that's what you get when you've got something like Hasselbank as your manager. He got the contacts, he got the people to go to talk to and get in. And Burton really needed that because they've not had a very good couple of weeks kind of thing. So hopefully it'll give them a little bit of a starting block. But Fleetwood just need to learn how to defend. But this was when they start of the season. We were this. We take the lead and then we lose it.
Yeah, I remember the shows where pretty much every week we were coming on and it was like, yeah, we were leading until 80th minute and it's a draw. Could have literally recorded that segment and just inserted it every week for about 4 or 5 weeks. So
no one noticed.
No.
we did have I think it was around October, November. I think every other game was like, yeah, we were leading 80th minute, 89th minute.
Mad, isn't it?
Yep.
But I just remember being sat, because obviously we sat with the women's supporters group at the game yesterday, and I checked my phone because I'm like, checking socials and stuff, making sure the pictures have all gone out, whatever. And I saw that Fleetwood were 2-0 up, and we were just like, right, we're relegated, lads. And then I checked it at full time. It's like, what's happened? It's very reminiscent of our trip to Morecambe, which bodes brilliantly for the weekend, which makes me very, very, very nervous, to be honest.
Honestly, I think if Fleetwood get the first goal,
it's curtains.
Yeah, they'll go on and win it. But
I agree.
We will see. Couple of comments to catch up on. Nat, the fact that Donny is still in with a shout is good.
Yeah.
To
be fair, if you told me in January after we got thumped by Morecambe and then played Fleetwood and just showed no passion or anything, it was just awful. I was convinced we were down then. If you'd told me 2 months down the line we'd be 4 points from safety with
there's
winnable
still a lot of
games
points to play for.
Yeah.
There's winnable games there, and I still think it's going to the last game of the season.
Be horrible. Be absolutely horrible. Twists and turns coming up.
Yeah.
We've got Ian Hope, crew don't sack Artell, good managers despite this year's struggles. I agree. I think they should stick with him and giving him an opportunity to either potentially get them out of the hole that they're in this year or bounce straight back next year.
Out of league.
He also feels sorry for Nappers. I think that's a feeling for all of us, and he's also surprised that he's still got hair. Or not surprised that Nappers has still got any
You're
hair.
only saying this because you're bald, mate. We've had this conversation before. You always bring up hair.
We've got Doran Tolan as well, good content creator.
What are you doing slumming in League One?
I know. He's come to see what it's like
Loyalty.
in a competitive league.
Oh dear.
No, in fairness, the championship is ridiculous this season as well.
You got a good result at the weekend as well.
Just had Burton, haven't we? Yeah. So on to MK Dons against Wigan. This is one of those where MK Dons really could have done with the 3 points to close the gap on Wigan. Third facing second. Thoughts on this one? Is it an opportunity miss for MK Dons? Do you think this has kind of handed the initiative to Wigan?
I say it is, but when you look at 88th minute, they rescued a point. So I think a point at this point is a good result for them, because I think if they lose it, they lose a lot of ground. And I think they'll just be happy with a point at the end of this. And I think both teams will be happy with that kind of thing. So Wigan
shows a lot of character, doesn't it, for MK Dons to come back as well? Especially, I mean, I was thinking, I can't remember apart from at Wimbledon, before that, when was the last time we came back from conceding at all? Like, we were literally 3-0 up at Morecambe and conceded 1 and collapsed.
Yeah.
So
it is about 7 years ago that we last came back from behind.
Hey, that was my record. It was 6. We've done it now. We've broke all the records this year.
Jonathan's got into the chat. He still has hopes of automatic promotion, so he doesn't feel that this is a damaging result for MK Dons, which is Fair enough. We will look at the
Yeah,
table.
I mean, they're a good team, aren't
the
they?
very
It's one of those games you'd be happy to take a point from if you were in their position. But,
Yeah. I'd love to be in their position.
in it next season.
I've just seen Jake comment.
Oh God, what's he said
What
now?
is this? Let's have a look. There we have it. I'm sure that'll trigger door.
Yeah. Give it a minute.
Well, welcome to the stream door, anyway.
He's really glad he popped in.
Yeah, just pops in once and gets absolutely annihilated straight away. Poor lad.
Oh, makes a change from it being us done.
Yeah,
To
true.
be fair.
A game against two promotion hopefuls, looking at breaking into the top 6, ended up with a bit of a bore draw, really, 0-0. Handbags were thrown between an Ipswich Town player, I can't remember, and Danny Cowley, who was doing the kind of thing where players trying to take the throw and he's wanting to get out of the way, but he's holding his hands up saying he's getting out of the way, but he's not really getting out of the way, he's getting in the way. And yeah, you love a bit of that.
It was basically just goal boy stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think this result, I don't know, I feel like it confirms Wednesday will finish in top 6. The fact that, they've only picked up 1 point when one of them could have picked up 3. I just think it bodes really well for Wednesday. That neither of them could just do it.
To be fair, with my prediction at the start of the season.
I can't disagree with that this season. I thought Pompey and Ipswich would be up there challenging much more than what they are. I know they're still in a chance, but
to be fair, my prediction for the start of this season is going a lot better. I put us mid-table. So
I put us mid-table.
Oh, you do not want to see where my co-host put you. He put you in 12th. And he's like, wow. they won't have a massive problem. And
I predicted 12th, like top half.
I don't think what anybody predicted was the season that we've had and the absolute higher performance that we saw yesterday. I stuck around, as Lizzie mentioned, it was a International Women's Day event with her game 2, the women's supporters group and stuff. So there was a double header, Doncaster Rovers against Gillingham and then Doncaster Rovers Bells against Burton. And do you know what? The Bells were so refreshing to watch. It had free-flowing, attacking football, players working for each other, players fighting for every single ball, not just the second ball, but the first ball. And it was chalk and cheese compared to what we saw the men's game play because there was just a lack of anything, wasn't there, Lizzie? It was
that Andy Butler, good manager. But yeah, it just
good old Bowlby lad.
Yeah, I know, same as me, mate. And he lives just down the road from me now. There you go. Well, people from Bowlby just built different, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, uninspiring. To be honest, they weren't better than us. They were just as shit as we were. And the fact that we conceded, it basically just threw it into the goal, for God's sake. He bounces between Tommy Rowe and I think Kyle Noyle, and they both just looked at each other and it just went in. It's like, mate, I could have done a better job of defending that. And it's those kind of sloppy defensive errors that have cost us so greatly this season because they were rubbish. They were just as rubbish as we were, and we could have taken a point if we just defended properly.
So, do you think they were as rubbish as what we were, or do you think that they did a job on us and got that early goal and sat in and then just made themselves difficult to break down? Because I thought, personally, they had a couple of attacks in the second half, and I thought they looked a lot more cohesive unit than what we did.
Well, I think Neil Harris has come in and really unified them. From what I spoke to Matt from Jills and the Blood the other week, last week, whenever it was, what is time? And he just seems to be kind of what Gary McSheffrey has brought to us on steroids. You know, really unified the fan base. Really got all the players working for each other. But I still don't think they were that good, and that's what I find so frustrating. I can, getting steamrolled by Rotherham or Wednesday, that feels slightly more bearable than getting a dodgy 1-0 loss against Gillingham, who aren't that good. You know what I mean? They basically got the identical form to us, haven't got that good a team, and it's so frustrating because we need points and we need to win games, and we just can't stop letting in goals like this. Just appalling defending.
We just didn't see him up for it though, which is the frustrating thing for me. There was a lack
we talk about going down with a fight, don't we? Yeah. And I think I can think of 3 players who looked like they didn't want to lose the game, and that would be Tommy Rowe, Matt Smith, and Joseph Olerud. Nobody else looked bothered. Everybody else was just going through the motions, and that makes me well sad. I also think not starting Matt Smith is ridiculous. He
Criminal.
has been a consistent 7 or 8 out of 10 in a team full of 2s and 3s all season. Putting him on the bench seems very odd. And maybe there was a reason behind it, but I know we got hammered 4-0 the week before, but I don't think the selection was right either.
No,
like,
bizarre choice to leave Smith off. Like you say, one of the more consistent performers this season. Nat Harris has galvanised Gillingham at the minute, fighting performance. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think
there's a
poor.
podcast I listen to called The Offensive, and it's a fictional football club called Ashwood City, and they're based in Kent, right?
Right.
Yep.
They play Gillingham in the fictional city. If you can go find it on iTunes, it's hilarious, really, really funny. And they play Gillingham, and they call it the El Crapico. So what's this El Crapico?
Yes. Not as much as when we drew with Crewe, though. That was particularly El Crapico-ish.
Yeah.
With the way you were talking about, it, like that just got El Crapico written all over it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I honestly think though, if the goal's not gone if the goal's not gone in the first minute, it's a very different game. I do feel like Gillingham had a couple more gears that they could have gone through and put us under a bit more pressure, but they didn't need to. They were quite happy to have 2 banks of 5 and just watch us playing it around.
But it says a lot about your team.
But we weren't playing it around, and we were like we could barely. Again, I say this every week. We couldn't even string 2 passes together most of the time. Launching it forward,
76% out of 430 passes. They've had 240 with 50%. I think. Yes. I honestly think we've just been playing it around our back 4 into the midfield and back, and Gillingham just sat in and were happy.
You sit there and
we didn't lay a glove on them.
Go at them. You just want them to go at them, and they didn't. And I'm just very disappointed. I knew the football would ruin what was otherwise a good day for me. Yeah, but also like
you can always rely on your football club at times, can't you?
Nothing like a weekend ruined by 5 p.m. on a Saturday, is there? But you have to wonder if we'd appointed someone like Harris, someone with a bit more experience, whether we'd be having that kind of fighting attitude. I'm not saying I'm anti McSheffrey because I think he'll come good. However, it's
Sorry, I like that while you're talking. Go for it.
Yeah, it's Paul Goodwin's tweet, isn't it? I read it earlier. But it's just
interesting stat. So nail in the coffin. I think it is a nail in the coffin. I think any out of these 2 teams, whoever didn't get the win would be struggling. But 4 managers in 12 months, 51 players used in league, 68 games, 15 wins, 43 defeats. It's rubbish, isn't it?
Yeah, proper.
43 defeats, Jesus.
Yeah.
How you been able to keep sane with watching this team this season, or you just drinking a lot?
It's bold of me to assume I'm sane, I think.
So let's move along. We will jump onto the Sheffield Wednesday game. We'll give Jake an opportunity to speak about this.
This was just bloody silly
against Cambridge.
This was just bloody silly, but it was so fun to watch. The last time we did 6 with the famous 6-1 versus Leeds United. And we just played like a silly team who was on a bit of confidence. Lee Gregory started the game, which was great for us. A player who I still don't know how he managed to get, really, because he's just stupidly good at League One level. Get the ball in. Own goal off the player. He literally tackled for it. And Barry Bannon doing what Barry Bannon does. He don't go tap-ins. He's just silly at this level.
Wonderful goal.
It was a fantastic goal. There's a really good picture Mrs. actually put up of him like in a really weird position as he's taken it. And she said that getting framed and that going above the mantelpiece. And then the man who we all was like, this is going to be the player who's going to change it all for the season. Didn't start out that great, but absolute superb performance by Berahino. First goal, he did this. The first goal he took, he had a same opportunity about 2 minutes before, identical. It's like, Cambridge, he's going to do it again. Why are you not? What he's done it once. You can see what he's trying to do, and it's that lovely spin and turn shot. Great goal.
Did it against us, didn't he?
Yeah, his second goal
stopped time.
I felt really sorry for Gibson, our defender, because he hits it. The keeper saves it. He got his hand on his head thinking, oh, that's it, gone. Berahino goes and hits it, and he's like, my goal. Give me my goal. Then 4-0 up at half-time thinking, surely we can't throw this away. We can't do what Wednesday's done in the past. And we are looking so much better. For Joe Byers' goal, Berahino set him up when he's on a hat-trick. He could have quite easily taken that shot himself and scored.
Yeah.
And I love the selfish play to go, you know what, there's a player in a better position than me, give it him. And Byers, since we got him from Swansea, since January, since we lost Fizz, Delabashu, he's been absolutely superb. We got this really lovely midfield three of Bannon, Luongo, and Byers. And then you've got
a horrible midfield three, Jake. It is cheating.
Wait, it gets even worse when I say we've got Sam Hutchinson, Jordan Story, and Hunt at the back, which is insane.
It's just,
and then you got Marvin Johnson down one wing, and yeah, I'm not going to go on.
please stop.
Then Saido Berahino gets his hat trick, first hat trick in England, I think, for 6 years since he was in the Premiership. I read an article earlier that said Saido Berahino, the former Arsenal target. I'm like, oh God, yeah, he was an Arsenal target. I wanted it at one point. Now slumming it down here, and it just capped off a really good display. And I think the best bit I love, it was like 89th minute, they have a shot in, and keeper saves it, and he's literally screaming at the team, and he's going, I want my clean sheet. You are not ruining this for me. And it just tapped it. Cambridge United manager, he was really gracious in defeat. He said, look, you come against them, it's hard to beat them, innit? And I thought we might have one of those
right. I look like I like caught a glimpse of my face on my screen. I was like, oh my God, I look like I'm about to cry. Like, oh shit, I need to smile.
I think we're coming up for really good form at the right set of time. We've got players who are coming back injured. If I turn around and tell you that Josh Windass, Shadipo, Harley Dean, and Mendes Lang are now all back in training in the final phase of their rehabilitation, ready for the next couple of games, we could be having some fun here, especially if Windass starts the way he started before he got his injury. And we could...
We will have a quick look at that later on. I've not looked in a while, so we'll bring that up after the table.
It's going to be interesting because we've got players coming back at the right time. And we've got games around us that are winnable. We've got Accrington Stanley Tuesday. We've got Gillingham Saturday. We've got Fleetwood to play. We've got Pompey last game of the season. We've got Wickenham MK. We've got some and I think we've got Charlton somewhere there. So the game where we should, in theory, get all 3 points with how we're playing. And it was the right bounce back after that Lincoln game. And there was you know what? The only thing that really annoyed me about the game, the atmosphere it went to, was just still felt flat at some time, because it's like they were like expecting it. This is what we've been looking for all season.
Yeah, do you think it turned into kind of a pre-season friendly kind of atmosphere because it turned into a bit of a training exercise more than anything?
Yeah, I think we were all shocked when just Berahino decided, you know, I'm going to play football for a change, and the problem
the atmosphere went flat because everybody was just in shock.
Yeah. And the thing is, when you think about Berahino, he's been playing football in Belgium, so it's not the greatest league in the world, taking a while to get used. And all the Darren Moorers who want Darren Moore out, they've been quiet for a weekend again. It's lovely, because I've said Darren Moore needs to just build what he's doing at Wednesday, because he's a builder. He likes to build teams.
Yeah.
I'm convinced he'll take you up.
I hope so.
It's so similar to that season that was curtailed, Dan. It's all I think of. You look at the results that they're getting, and I can just tell. If you will make the playoffs, and I think if you will make the playoffs, you will probably go up, because I
don't want to do playoffs. That's my missus' birthday. I don't know if I'll be able to go.
Yeah, it's a nice romantic weekend to London. It'll be amazing.
I am not taking my 4-year-old to football. If she comes back with more swear words than me, I'm in trouble.
Bit of normality for you, Jake. Nat's put more out. So we've got 5 more games, I think. We'll start at Shrewsbury.
And I'll just add this now. That is 11 goals at home in March already.
Wow. I'm just glad that Donny Rovers is not on the list of teams that you're to play before the end of the season. we've got away with a couple lightly there. But yeah, Shrewsbury, Oxford's still ticking away nicely, and a team that, for me, has been one to watch all season, and they've been there or thereabouts every single season for as long as I can remember, but they've just not quite had the staying power to get into the Championship.
Do you think
this is the year with
Brannigan
Matty
stays
Taylor?
at Oxford if they don't go up? Or
I think that's the problem, isn't it? Whether he'll stay at Oxford or not, Dan, I'm not sure. I think we had the same problem when we lost to Charlton in the semi-finals of the playoffs a couple of years ago.
Yeah, he's had a few
basically
bites
all
cherry,
the good players go, didn't they?
Yeah.
But I honestly think that's all you'll play at Wembley, Oxford. That's my prediction. They seem to always do well-ish in the playoffs.
I'm okay with that. I just don't want to play Plymouth again. I've played them too many times this season.
Oh, they're not going to make it into top 6. It'll be one of Wigan, Sunderland, or Oxford, I think.
It's very strong.
Then again, can you imagine Sunderland and Sheffield Wednesday fans at Wembley?
You'd have to go, and you'd have to take your 4-year-old as well.
I'm definitely going to take my 4-year-old. There's no choice.
That's what we did when we were at Wembley. I would have been 9. Best day ever. Unbelievable. Best thing ever for a kid.
She's keep talking about going to London anyway. Every Monday, it's like, we're going to London. With what money?
Who's put that idea in your head?
Pepper sodding pig.
Darren Moore. He's putting the idea in her head.
No, it's not. It's sodding Pepper Pig. That sodding pig got a lot to answer for.
Well, not the only pigs, eh?
There we go. Yes.
I wasn't going there.
But this win for Oxford made it 5 wins in 6, which is some decent form coming into the last leg of the season. Onto the second 0-0 draw of the weekend, Wycombe against Rotherham, and Ian's come into the chat and said that they're on a little bit of a wobble. He's worried about dropping out of the top 2. Wycombe,
I don't think it'll happen.
They were wobbling, but then
who have they got in the running? Around. What's they running like for the end of the season?
Rotherham.
Great question. Yeah. Let me have a look. Talk amongst yourselves, guys, while we.
Shrewsbury, Sunderland.
Lincoln, Shrewsbury, Sunderland, Sutton in the final. Charlton. Got plenty of games, isn't there?
I think you'll be all right.
I know, Gillingham. Okay. I honestly don't think you need to worry because they're a very well-oiled machine, aren't they, Rotherham?
Come on, you're going to get you might get 2 lots of silverware at the end of the season.
I think they're on for the double, definitely.
Yeah.
Even if it was a bit of a ball draw. But yeah, Wycombe turning around that little bit of a dip in form. And
by the way, has anyone seen the Jeff Delling thing that he did?
No, go on.
So Jeff Delling, they did on Soccer Saturday. They had a bit where it was, and 2 managers. You know how the Wycombe manager liked to have his chest out. Every time he likes to check that, doesn't
he? Yeah.
They pan back to the studio. Jeff Dunn got his tie off, his shirt's off, his hairy chest. He's like, well, that was nice to see from the manager, wasn't it? And then the entire panel is just cracking themselves.
Whereas Paul Warren's turtleneck, snood, looking at his eyes, looking like he's about to rob a bank or something. They're quite a contrasting styles.
What are you on about? He's robbing League One.
I'll have to check that out. But moving on to the Morecambe against Cheltenham game, another drink, Alfie May, wicked. Cheers. Rovers, ex-scorer, Clapton.
You don't need
quite a dangerous game to play.
But another positive result for the Rovers looking at this one, keeping Morecambe well in that bottom 4. And Cheltenham, they've impressed me this season coming up, and I think they've taken to life in League One. A bit like a duck to water, and Alfie May.
Good on him.
Didn't like seeing it last week, but I always like to see him on the score sheet, and he's progressing very, very well since he left Doncaster Rovers.
He could have some quite good suitors in
That's what I was just going to say. Do you think he'll go somewhere else in the summer, or do you think he'll stay somewhere where it's really working?
Surely stay where you're working.
Yeah, I mean, 18 goals this season. You'd like to think that it'd stick it out for another season, see if he can do it consistently, and then potentially move on to bigger, better things next year.
If you're like Oxford or Sunderland or somebody that's missed out on promotion from the playoffs, somebody who's going to, because he will get 20 this season.
He won't bloody come to us, though, will he? Darren Moore let him go.
Well, yeah, true.
Yeah, true. Come on now. You've had your 6-0. Can we just talk about anything other than the sorrow that is being a Rovers fan? Yeah, I'm glad he's found a home because it was never going to happen. It
Mm.
was never going to happen for him at
So
Donny.
there's some footballers that you fall in love with at your club, and then you're like, when they go somewhere else and do better, you're like, that's a shame it didn't work out. But you're always happy for the player.
See, for me, I like Alfie May, but Matty Blair's the one that I really fell in love with. I was much more sad when we let him go. But
Yeah, I think
what can we
Matty
do?
Blair was a much more consistent player in the team. He was always in and around the starting 11, whereas Alfie May was a bit of a fringe player. Never quite
And I have a soft
worked out
spot
for
for
the
him
Rovers.
because of everything that happened with his brother and stuff as well. And
Yeah.
you know, we do a mental health kit every year now, and that's because of when Matty Blair lost his brother. I think that's quite a nice legacy to leave at a club. So
Yeah,
definitely.
didn't enjoy it when.
And to be fair, more clubs should do it because it's important.
Agreed. Moving on.
I'm so
to
miserable.
know,
really
it's
trying. After listening to Jake for like 10 minutes, I'm like, I'm so sad.
It's hard work,
I'm like really trying to be enthusiastic. I can't do it. Right,
It's tough.
Plymouth versus Bolton, guys.
Yes. So, two teams fighting for the top six. It was one of those weekends where every game was important for its own reasons. Plymouth coming out on top on this one against a Bolton team that's done as well, very well this season. Even though the managers come out and said that they're the best team in the league, and then that rough patch where they were getting beat every other week.
Every manager just turned around and put that on their tactic board. They didn't even put tactic. They just pinned that up and went, that's it.
Yeah, put a target on the back for sure. But I think it's been a very positive first season back in League One. Definitely one to watch next season. Plymouth potentially getting to the Championship this season, but that top six is ridiculously tough, strong, very good. It's going to be interesting watching the playoffs for sure, but a massive 3 points for them away from home.
And to be fair, I'm quite impressed how Plymouth are still doing. I thought they might have crumbled after losing Ryan Lowe, but they just carried on. They had that little mini blip and they're still in and around it. It's just the way they fell off was really weird because they were running away with it to a point at one point, weren't they?
Yeah, but
Yeah, they were
that's
absolutely flying. They were pace setters, weren't they?
It's kind of Plymouth's story every year, isn't it? That feels like.
Yeah.
But it's not very consistent, are they? But yeah, I don't like Bolton very much, so.
No.
We've got them soon, haven't we, as well?
Yeah. Oh, it's horrible. I just want this season to end.
Do we do an ex-Rovers assist klaxon? Because John Marquis got an assist for the second goal.
I'm empty.
No, I'm not.
Well, you're going to have to drink twice then.
Absolutely not. It's a nice craft beer. I'm not just going to neck it. I'm not an animal. Savour it.
Depends who you're talking to, Lizzie, isn't it? But in this one, another good result. I couldn't resist. You set it up, I just had to hit it. So Wimbledon against Lincoln, two teams down there near the bottom of the table. Could have done with a draw for the Rovers, but it keeps Wimbledon well within touching distance with Lincoln winning. Pulls them away, gives them a little bit of breathing space. Fiorini and Bishop with the 2 goals. And I mean, you've already said it, Jake, that you think Lincoln have got the squad that is too good for their position.
Yeah.
Do you think this is a result and the result against Sheffield Wednesday that can just be that springboard to?
I hope so. I hope so, because I've got a little bit of soft spot for Lincoln. I like Lincoln City.
I have as well.
Always have done. I don't know what the whole Lincoln City fans and Wenty fans don't like each other. I had no idea where that came from over the year, but hey.
Well, they've not got a lot of good teams, have they, in Lincolnshire to be rivals with? I think that's kind of them. I mean, because there's only 1 or 2 teams in the whole EFL in Lincolnshire, and Scunthorpe are going to get relegated. So I think there's clutching at straws to an extent. Who can we have a scrap with? Oh, Wednesdays. Right, get a crack on.
Yeah. But I think they got derailed at the start of the season with everything that happened with their gaffer. I think it knocked them for 6, and I think it wasn't the start they needed. I think for them, let's just consolidate where we are in the league and start again next season. I think you'll probably see them high up again because Appleton is building something there that's really nice to see. He got the backing of the board. He got the players who are firing for him. And I think it's one of those ones where they don't have his cancer situation at the beginning. It's a completely different season. And
I think it's so good to see Appleton carrying on the Cowleys' good work at Lincoln. You know, when they weren't They weren't even in the Football League, a handful
You
of years
couldn't ask
ago.
for a better person to take on that mantle of what they've done, really, could you?
I really like
No.
him, yeah. But
Good manager.
they'll
We're
stay up.
expecting them to do well next season and also survive this. So a good
Especially
couple of
with
results
Marquis
for
up
Lincoln over
top.
the last couple of weeks.
Yep.
John Marquis is a 20-goal a season striker if he's got the right service, and clearly he has. So next season, when he's got a full one.
Stevie Watson in the chat. I love it when people write Argyle off. I don't think we've written them off. I just think
I probably have a bit. I think the top six is as is. I don't think it'll change. I think it'll be. Yeah, I think it'll be. We'll get to the table, won't we? I just can't see anybody else overtaking Wednesday in that.
I can.
Well, obviously Plymouth are sixth now, but I think
we've got
Wednesday will
game in.
finish sixth. I can just feel it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hope so, but
I don't know.
we didn't start well, and it could be our start like Cotswold.
Yeah, but then Plymouth had a little bit of a wobble as well, so it's very tight. That's for sure.
I think we'll start at the bottom of the table like we normally do. We'll get the difficult bit out of the way. We'll get that off. And
what do you say to that?
Is it still on or have we gone? My head says that we've gone. My heart says that there's still a chance if results go our way on Tuesday. We beat Fleetwood on Saturday. It's back on. But
Dan,
my head says you're an idiot, Dan. You're relegated. Shut up.
When have we ever beat Fleetwood? That's what I worry about. I don't think.
Whenever we ever beat Sunderland or Accrington Stanley.
Oh,
it's a season of many things.
Yeah, but Fleetwood's different though, innit? Like you go seaside, get a tram, you're all excited, and then they put free past you in half an hour. You've got horrible music stuck in your head, blasting out, and then you have some donuts and go home and cry. I'm not looking. I can't be dealing with that again. Like it's just gonna be.
But if they go 3-0 up, they crumble at half time.
No, yeah, but so do we. So do we. We're rubbish. It's
pointing to an absolute shocking League One game. In fairness, isn't it?
It'll be 0-0 written all over it. That's what we should name this show. But yeah, it's not going to be. It's not going to be good. It's the Supporters Club weekend away though, so I intend to be drunk from about midday on Friday until about 2:30 on Sunday. So I won't care.
Have a good weekend. I think Ian's hit the nail on the head. Wimbledon looking vulnerable at the moment, struggling to get. I don't think they've won since December. I'd say out of those bottom four, potentially Gillingham would be the ones for me to get out of that because of how Harris has got them as a collective unit and working for each other.
I will be interested to see what Moore can do with Stockton at end of season.
Yeah, I think if Moore can go down, I think Stockton will be a League One player again next year. Somebody's got to take a punt on him for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like Fleetwood to go down just because I'll miss the away day as much as I slag it off. It is. You love going to the seaside, don't you?
He might be able to get Nappers in.
Yeah.
Because at the minute, it's looking like you might miss out on Charlie with the way they're doing in League Two.
That's what I was thinking.
Up as well. Might just be me and Lizzie.
God, don't be hungover on a Sunday, Lizzie. Got to get your charm out.
But yeah, for me, out of that bottom area of the table, I know Tyler's come in and had fears about Charlton. Nappers has said he's got fears about Fleetwood. I think Crewe, Morecambe, us, and Wimbledon are much worse than them two at the moment. So I think.
But it's so
I just think
tight,
it'll be swapped between Gillingham and Wimbledon. I don't know. Do you guys agree? Do you think it'll be somebody different? Do you think two teams will drop out of that and two will survive? What do you think?
I would like to hope so. I'd like to hope
Gillingham might get out of that.
Maybe we will though. Like mathematically, we could still do it. Like, but obviously, goal difference is a point in itself, and I think it's like that 2014 season when we got relegated at Leicester. The goal difference relegated us. You know, we were just rubbish.
I'd love for you to get out of it because who we got left to play? You got many top of the.
No, it's
all
We've
around
only got
Burton, Charlton, Fleetwood.
Yeah.
Crewe.
So if you're playing teams around you, surely you should be able to step up a little bit around it.
Yeah, but then we've played two teams around. Well, we've played three teams around us in the last 3 games. We've only got 1 point out of it. So, of it, the only 2 games that are kind of not in the bottom half that we've got for the rest of the season are Wickham and Oxford,
and Bolton.
And Bolton as well.
Yeah,
well, they're like I don't even know where they are.
That Oxford game, you might want to just skip that week. You got a week off on doing the show, Dan.
Oh, it's last game of the season, isn't it? And it's like silly o'clock kickoff, and it's going to be we're going to get relegated by like 3,
Horrible.
and yeah, can't wait.
Horrible.
Very similar to
relegated
that
by
game at
5,
Leicester.
absolutely hammered by 9.
Let's try and make it a little bit more positive in terms of Rovers. Ian's noticed something that none of us have. Most wins amongst the bottom 6.
That is
Yeah.
interesting, Ian. There you go.
There we go. So
Yeah, but that's just going to send me up. That's just going to make
that's
me
giving us hope
spiral.
again, Ian. Thank you, Ian.
It's like it gets to 5 it gets to 5 p.m. on a Saturday, and I've decided it's curtains, and I've done it every week since about January.
Yeah.
And then we pull something out of the bag where it's like, oh, actually, we might do this. And I can't cope with it. I literally can't cope with it.
If you've not noticed in this last hour of the live stream, me and Lizzie are starting to lose the will to live.
I'm losing my head, mate. It's like happening, mental breakdown live on camera.
And they say supporting football is fun.
But we move on to the top half of the
way.
table. So this is where Jake comes in. Talk us through that top 6, Jake. Where do you think there's going to be any changes? Do you think there's any changes? Do you think any teams below
We
you?
need to win our 2 games in hand, which are Accrington, Stanley and Fleetwood. I think if we get them, and they're very winnable games, I think we're in for it. But with the players we've got coming back and with how we're starting to have the form, I mean, I think Lincoln was a bit of a blip by Wednesday because up until then we've been playing some really good football. Apart from the loss at Rotherham at our place, we pretty much bought the entire of February. So things are starting to turn in the right time frame for Wednesday. We've got players coming back who are crucial for us as well. And the brain is saying that we'll come 5th, and Heart's saying we'll just get 6th.
I could see you not wanting to commit. Then you're like, I don't want to just completely commit and absolutely ruin any chances and give it like the commentator's curse.
Yeah,
but I think with the form that you're in and the fixtures that you've got, I think there's potential of you getting into that top 6.
Yeah, I'll let you into secret why I think Wednesday might have played well this weekend. Our owner was at the game.
Was he?
Mr. Chancellor was actually at the game. So I wonder if he was saying, right, I need to see what value for money I'm getting here.
Yeah. Just look at MK Dons' form, though. It's a lot of green going on there. I just don't think there's any situation where they don't finish automatic. And maybe they will catch Rotherham, but I can't see it just because Rotherham are Rotherham, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's those games in hand for me. I think if they get points in those games in hand, it's really difficult for MK Dons to catch them. They've got to wait for Wigan to
I don't want to be cliche, but I'd rather have the points on the board.
Yeah,
that was very cliche.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, look. Oh, why do you have to do this to us?
Because I've not looked at it in absolutely ages. So the top 5 goal scorers, Michael Smith, absolutely bossing it with 18. Alfie May, 18. Matt Taylor on 19.
I need to take 18 drinks of this. I'm not sure I got enough left.
Mine's empty. Stockton on 19 and Ross Stewart smashing it with 22 goals this season. I'm not sure how to get any more players on, so I'm not sure how many Berahino's got.
I think he's only got 6.
Oh, well.
Nowhere near.
Our main top goal scorer was it was Lee Gregory, but I think Barry Bannon's pushing for it. And if Barry Bannon's pushing for it, this will be most goals he's ever scored at Wednesday, with 8 at the minute.
See, that's what you need at League One. If you've not got a 20 goal a season striker, you need people popping up here, there, and everywhere from midfield, from the defence, and we've just not had anybody.
We were all gutted when we lost Windass after him coming back from injury because he hadn't started the entire season due to injury.
Yeah,
cheers, Nat. And he hadn't started the season, or he had injury, and I think he got 4 in quick concession. We were like, right, he's back, brilliant. We got the goal because I think Sheffield Wednesday with a fit Windass is a completely different team to how we started. Because our thing is we weren't scoring enough and we were conceding too many. Now we're at the other bit where we're being quite clinical now in front of goal, which is nice to see, and it's different because we haven't seen it all season.
There we go. And I think Jake Tong has been away, had his dinner, and come back. We did say that in the episode.
Oh God.
We did have a lot to go through, and he also says that Marquis is better than Berahino. I agree.
No, I agree.
I agree with that, yeah.
Absolutely. I was so sad it didn't work for him at Portsmouth because he is the best. I'm going to say it. He's the best striker I've ever seen in a Rovers shirt.
He's the best striker in
100%.
the Football League.
Come on,
Absolutely.
let's be honest. When they took a punt on Berahino and was hoping it would work, and it's only
I'm really
just
happy that it
seemed-
has worked though,
Yeah.
because I mean, I feel like
And
ever
Darren
since
Moore
he scored
probably
at
the only
Donny,
person who could get anything out of him because he said in interview before he came, he saw Darren Moore as like a father figure when he was at West Brom. And he was the
people
only
say
one
that
was like,
all the time. It is classic. Everybody sees Darren Moore in that light, I think.
Darren Moore's just lovely. He's just a lovely, lovely bloke.
I don't like the
Yeah. Do you not?
man.
I think he's a nice
I'm
bloke.
fine with it.
I think he's a nice bloke, but I can understand why he went to a bigger club, but it
Yeah.
still hurts.
It does. Everything hurts to do with Doncaster Rovers at the minute.
God, I feel like I'm.
Oh, that's a name from the past, Ian. He's playing
he
currently in Australia.
God, that is a
Oh.
right
That's
throwback.
a right name from the past. I remember him doing a tweet how he was gutted that he wasn't in FIFA because he moved because they weren't having him in. He was well annoyed.
I remember
Fantastic striker.
Radio Sheffield, and it was just Adam Lafondra every week for like years.
Yeah, very good player. But before we go on a tangent to wonderful
Yeah, he
ex-strikers that we've watched and things, we are going to finish this up because it's almost an hour and 10 minutes, the longest one so far. Serves us right for missing a week, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's your fault.
Yeah, it is. Purely on
I'll
me.
be taking it up with the Dapper family next time I see him.
So will I. As soon as I said we've got a holiday booked, I was like, what about the live stream? Nobody cared.
Who was that? No. And
I was hoping for like when you said you were on like a canal boat, I was like, are we gonna have it on the? Are you gonna try and do it live on the canal
can you
boat?
imagine?
Not a chance.
It'd be like
But
us doing
thank
one
you,
live
everybody,
from the pub.
Yeah. But thank you everybody for sticking with us for this extra long episode. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Lizzie,
No
for
worries.
joining us. Thank you for giving
Thank you.
your expertise on your teams. Thank you for pulling us through this very tough weekend and last couple of weeks. As always, head to their socials, follow them, subscribe. If you've not subscribed to me yet, please do. I am playing in the Evestrust Legends game, so please check that out as well. So there will be a third shirt going up here
Hey,
after the
How
7th of May. And then that is my room finally finished. So we're getting there. But thank you very much. If you've enjoyed it or you're watching it on repeat, please comment in the section down below. If you've enjoyed it, big thumbs up. Comment in the section down below. Subscribe if you haven't already to all of us. And all that's left for me to say is thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one. I'm exhausted.
Me too.